Hey, it's Pablo. I'm back with a new video. Sometimes I do photography. I'm actually out in Death Valley. Just stopped out on the way here, and I just wanted to shoot something off the side of the road before I shoot sunset here in a few hours. It's been just so long since I've shot anything properly, so when I get out and shoot. Welcome. And if you're new to the channel, again, my name is Pablo Diaz, and I shoot mainly landscape photography, but I love shooting it all. Good morning, day 2 of Death Valley National Park. When I got on camera yesterday, it's a little out of sorts. I hadn't filmed in a while, so it felt all brand new to me. And met up with my buddy a short while later. We rushed over to Zabriskie Point and got a couple shots, stayed for sunset, I should say, and then stayed to try to get a little bit of Milky Way, even though the core wasn't 100% out. I mean, it was on the other side of the mountain, so we got just a little aspect of Milky Way. But it's just nice to get out and shoot photography, both sunset and Milky Way or stars. So now this morning for sunrise, we came back to Zabriskie Point because honestly we just didn't have a better plan. We're going to try to plan that out a little better now for tonight's shoots, but nonetheless it's still very beautiful. It was a beautiful sunrise up at Zabriskie Point, and there was a lot of photographers there. Pretty crowded area. And a piece of advice that I've heard plenty of times, and I think it's just advice, is look the other direction of where the cameras are pointing. There's beautifulness around everywhere. And what my buddy and I are doing this morning is actually, now that sunrise is upon us, we're actually walking down into the canyon and into the rolling mountains and kind of just get a different perspective, where most people aren't doing this or aren't going to do this, but it's so beautiful down here. So I would just say, take different shots, take the shots that everybody else is taking. I think those are important too, but at the same time, look around in different areas, just in this really the same area that you're in, and just keep your eyes open. And there's beautifulness and beauty everywhere. It's just great to be out. So every turn that I make in this canyon is just absolutely beautiful. No matter where I shoot this morning, it just seems to be super beautiful. Right now I have this shot lined up right about here, and I'm at 1/50th of a second, f11, ISO 160. Wow. The sun is getting a little bit harsh, still very, very beautiful, but you know, the light is not optimal, but still having a good time, still walking the trail and just enjoying the space. So I'll see you a little bit later for, well, maybe some midday at Mesquite Dunes, but definitely for sunset. to be determined. So we left over Zabriskie Point, and we're now, we took a little nap, had some breakfast, and we're shooting the dunes, Mesquite Dunes, Mesquite Flats. And right now we haven't gone in. We're gonna go into the park, but we want to shoot it from the road because we really like the light that was here. And so we want to take advantage of that. And plus it's midday, so the cloud cover is giving us a nice softbox here off the side of the road. So we just want to take advantage of that, because if it goes away, we're still gonna go shoot the dunes, but nonetheless, there's a perfect opportunity. So be opportunistic, as I was talking about earlier. Just maybe that's the theme of this video. Be opportunistic. Anyhow, let me flip the camera around here. I'm at 1/25th of a second, f13, and I am focus stacking this shot. So essentially I focused on the tip or the ridge of the dune right about here, and then just one of the, basically one of the bushes right about here, I went ahead and focused on that spot, and I'll put those two together in post, and I think it makes for a nice shot. The sun is peeking through on different parts of the dunes out there, so it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Interestingly enough, we had a little storm cloud, rain cloud just pass over us, so it's still going. You can kind of see the cars a little wet, so we just kind of got in under this little shelter here. So I decided to switch over to a little video of that cloud and formed over here in this area. I don't know, just having a good time, and again, being opportunistic. Is that the title of this video? I don't know. Sounds great. I think it's becoming that. Well, current situation is I'm in the car eating Cheetos. No, Cheez-Its, not sponsored. And it's raining out here. And I don't mind a little rain, but I wasn't prepared for this. It was supposed to be hot today. So we'll let this pass over, and then we're gonna try to head out onto those dunes. We're out of the car. We probably waited there for about 45 minutes to an hour at this point. Not only did the rain pass through, which was fine, but the winds picked up big time over the last 20-30 minutes. And I don't know if you can see that band of wind out here, but nonetheless, that's kind of cool because it pushed a lot of the people out, honestly, and it also reset the dunes a little bit, so you know, footprints won't be so much a problem at this point. Plus, most of the people are concentrated here at the entrance over on this side, and we're pushing out towards this side and try to go kind of way out there. So let's get out there and shoot some dunes. I bought some handy dandy glasses for this occasion, see if I need them, but if not, no biggie. We're doing good. Opportunistic. So currently looking for my first composition, and what's funny or interesting is that I've watched dozens of videos on Death Valley and this specific area, the Mesquite Dunes, and you know, people do a really good job of photographing this area, and trying to find a very unique shot is probably not impossible, but certainly you want to try to get whatever you feel is your composition. And of course it is your composition because you shot it, but nonetheless, you know, just out searching to get something unique. But I'm certainly not going to try to outdo myself. Whatever presents itself, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm breathing hard because I'm walking up sand and walking up a hill. Okay, wind's picking up a little bit. So I've come upon these little dead, basically treelings, bushlings, and it's super windy, and I'd like to get this vantage point right here. Let me see what I can conjure up here. I think this is a different shot. I don't know how good it is, but see if I can frame this out. All right, so basically this is my shot. I've chosen to get a little bit lower so you can't really see anything else but these, again, dead kind of bushlings that are left here remnants of a once living bush, but I find them kind of interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the shot. So as silly as I look, these things are worth their weight in gold. These are really cheap glasses with some really cheap foam inside of them, but cost me about $9–10, and man, they're working great. Now, the wind and the sand kicks up. It's coming and going. It's okay. I'm having a good time. I have another shot lined up right here. What I'm looking at right here is this little hill right there. And it's a nice little mound, untouched. Got a couple little bush trees just hanging out to the left of it. It kind of has a little bulbous look on it there, towards the right there. I really like the way it looks. I like where it sits between these, this tree to the left over here, or this bush to the left over here, and this bush tree to the right over here. And so that is my shot. And we're looking at 1/60th of a second, f11, ISO 100. So like I mentioned, I believe before, that this is my first time here, and there's a vastness to all of the dunes that are here. And so just at every turn, there's something spectacular or just breathtaking in terms of the massiveness of all of this. So over the ridge here, as I'm coming up, I'm gonna punch in a little bit, but now you can see some of the bigger dunes out there in the distance. And I love the valley of kind of the bushes leading up to those taller dunes, which I'm headed towards. So I'm gonna shoot that here from this perspective. I'm kind of up higher, so about halfway the size of those dunes that are out there. You can kind of see the dust kicking up on the left side there. So yeah, this is my next shot. Just kind of hiding out here behind this little bush tree, just because the wind kicked up again and there's just sand everywhere, but I'm having a lot of fun. I want to try to get some of these little green bushlings. They're very vibrantly green, and I want to try to get them in the shot, but I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to see what I can get. I really do like, there's a little tree that's punching up over one of the dunes up here towards, or in front of me here. I'll show you here in a second, but I'm moving towards that, but again, just trying to let the dust kick down and settle down. So it's just a matter of patience and waiting. I guess as I walk towards my next possible image, I loved the floor of this area. It's a lot of cracked, hardened sand, which accumulates, you know, under intense rains and then dries out. But this is really cool. So I'm gonna try to get a lower perspective and leading up to potentially these dunes and the mountains as a backdrop. So let's see what we can do here. So this is my perspective right now. I'm shooting pretty low, got the tripod as low as it can go here, and we'll just kind of lead out from the cracked sand all the way just kind of up into that area. I do love this little tree that's up in this little general area here. As we get closer, that's the image I'd like to get in a little bit, but nonetheless, let's see how this works out. I'm gonna probably take a two-shot focus stack on this and see what happens from here. I think I'm gonna focus just in this general area here and then focus way beyond back here and put them together. All right, we're gonna move towards that little tree on the hill and see what we can do with it. So this one was a little trickier. As I was walking up this this dune right here, I noticed that tree, or that bush that I want to focus on, was kind of framed out by a bush, this one right here, that's kind of leaning or on the side of this dune, and then a further one that's over here, right there. And as I shoot it between here, you can see it kind of lines up for a nice little framing of that, again, treeling, bushling, bush tree. I'm not sure what to call them, but you get the idea. As I'm stepping over this dune and kind of coming to the top of it, I encountered this little shot here. Well, the sun's completely out right now. It's okay. But what I love is like, looks like a bunch of spilt milk, but that's essentially that same dried up and cracked sand that looks pretty cool. So I'll probably shoot it. It looks beautiful. We'll get it done. I had second thoughts about that little tree shot as I got up this ridge or up the dunes. Just wasn't as satisfying as I once had seen it from the other perspective. So I'm glad I got that one shot that I did earlier. So now I had two compositions that I was really digging. I took one from quite a distance. I saw somebody standing on a dune, had a lot of different layers going for it, and I just really enjoyed. Somebody was, at the top of there talking to their phone or taking a selfie, and got a shot of that. So now I'm walking up this other dune, and I'm going to be facing a few different dunes that are kind of like, almost like if your bedspread was kind of rolled up, kind of, on your bed, but you kind of push the sheets forward and they kind of bunch up. That's what I feel like these dunes look like. So first I thought maybe the kicking up of the dust and the sand was going to be a bad thing, because it was going to put a bunch of like particles in the air and kind of inhibit or interrupt, I should say, the image. But honestly, I feel like it just adds to it. It creates kind of a mist, if you will, or a fog, and allows you to focus on your subject and kind of keeps it soft in the background. So I think that's a plus for today. It's not like I'd always want that, but nonetheless, I think in this case, it's working. And again, just rolling with the punches, being optimistic or opportunistic. I am eating so much sand out here. It's ridiculous, but I'm having the time of my life. This is good stuff. Wow. This right here may very well be my last shot, or one of my last shots. One, my battery's dying. I do have more batteries in the old backpack, but I also am on a time crunch. I want to head to Badwater Basin and then Dante's Point. At least that's the plan for tonight. So this is going to be one of my last shots. I found another set of these dead little tree branches. I really like them for some reason. They look cool on camera, so I'm going to shoot this shot. If we have a few more images, I'll post them right after this. A couple tips as I walk out of Mesquite Dunes. One, when you're here, you visit, and you're a photographer, go out further than you think people are. It just allows you to get more compositions without people in them. And unless, of course, you want somebody in the frame to kind of show perspective. But nonetheless, that is one thing. The other is, if you're shooting on a zoom lens, after every shot, when you're zoomed out, pull the barrel back in, so when the wind blows up or blows out, that you're not getting sand, at least in the barrel of your lens. Not completely foolproof, but at least you're giving it a try. All right, I am walking up and down these rather large dunes, so I'm signing out from here, but I'll see you at Badwater Basin next. Okay, the wind's died down just for a second here. It is atrociously windy. I don't know if that's the right word, but it is there. It's kicking up. Anyways, we're out here at Badwater Basin. Let me see if I can cover. We're out here at Badwater Basin, and we're trying to get the salt that orients itself kind of in hexagonal shape. Not really, but you get the idea. All right. All right, so day is turning to night, and I don't know if this is even audible, but we will see. If not, I'll just overdub it here. But nonetheless, I'm gonna put it in my jacket a little bit. We are out here still at the Salt Flats, which is Badwater Basin. We got some pretty good imagery. I really couldn't necessarily video that much because it is just howling out here, but it's a good problem. We're out in the atmosphere. Pretty amazing out here. So now we're waiting. I'm shooting actually in the opposite direction, and we're waiting for the Milky Way and some stars. If we can get that, that'll be great. If not, no big deal, but we're gonna try anyways, and then we're gonna head off to Dante's Peak, which I'm quite sure is probably more windier than this place. So we'll check in then, and if I get an image, I'll put it on this week. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so here's the update. Last night we didn't get to Dante's Point to shoot stars. It just got too late, and we were quite frankly exhausted from the pounding of the wind that we got there at Badwater Basin. But we did wake up this morning in total darkness and got really good shots of the Milky Way. I was really satisfied, and thanks so much for joining me on this adventure. It was nice to get out, and it was nice to visit Death Valley National Park for the first time. Had a good time. All right, until the next one. Love y'all. Peace.